I went from a whopping 235, 240 pounds down to a leaner, happier 170. And today I tell you guys how I did it in the most effective yet backwards way possible. Hey guys, it's Brian back at you with another video where my goal is to mentor you towards a rewarding career and ultimately help you guys create a life you're proud of. And in that endeavor, today we're talking about weight loss. A fellow viewer emailed me and in that discussion revealed that he is insecure about his weight. Well, I responded with the fact that I know what he's talking about because I used to be quite the hefty fellow. I remember pretty much since I was a baby, I was fat. And I'm not talking about baby fat, I'm talking about adult fat on a baby. That was me. I remember drinking gallons of milk growing up, eating boxes of oranges, and tons of fried chicken, whatever I could get my hands on. And this carried on into grade school actually. I believe in the 7th grade, I was 181 pounds, which is a lot. And then in my senior year in high school, I was about 240 pounds down to about 235 around that. Kind of fluctuated, but I was quite heavy. So in today's video, I want to talk about how I lost that weight and how I'm able to keep that off for the most part effortlessly. Now it's going to be a little bit backwards in thinking and in strategy, and of course, you know, I'm not a fitness trainer, I'm not a dietitian, and I always recommend that before anyone starts some sort of exercise or diet program that they speak to their doctor first. So, you've been warned. Now before I go into as to exactly how I lost the weight, there are 3 key ideas I need you to understand. The first one is that you have to make a conscious decision that you want to lose weight. Right? That seems like a giver, seems very obvious, but it's very important. I mean, when you're changing your thoughts, you're changing your actions, and from that, you are changing your results. So it all starts up here. That's very important, and I just really want to make a note of that. And for me, when I made that decision, that was because I just graduated high school. I wanted to have a social life, a dating life. I wanted to have a girlfriend, and I wanted a girlfriend who was slim, attractive, looked great in a pair of jeans. And it was only fair that I upped my game, that I upped my standards for myself in order to do that. And that meant losing weight. So number 1 is to make that conscious decision that you want to lose weight. The second thing you have to understand and appreciate is that diet and exercise are independent of each other. I believe that conventional wisdom states that in order for you to lose weight, you have to exercise and eat appropriately. And for the most part, I get where they're coming from, but the reality is if you don't eat much, you will lose weight. But if you exercise 6 days a week, but you eat, you know, your 3 large pizzas for dinner, you're still going to keep the weight on you. So the take-home message is that it's way more important to watch what you're eating and how much you're eating than it is to see how often you're going to the gym or how often you're going to CrossFit. Which, by the way, have you been to a CrossFit gym lately? The majority of people there have average physiques. They can do way more chin-ups than me. They can do a lot more muscle-ups than me. No doubt that they work very, very hard, but the majority of them aesthetically look pretty average, and some look chubby and thick. Okay, and finally, the third idea that you have to understand is that the conventional diet and exercise program is just too much of a lifestyle change. If you were to tell the average Joe that in order for him to lose 25 pounds, the guy has to watch what he eats, cook his own food, avoid processed food, eat whole food, eat organic, can't eat out, can't drink alcohol, and at the same time, he has to go to the gym, incorporate resistance training, he has to work out heavy, he has to work out light, work out for endurance, he's got to train intense. Like, it's no wonder that people are going to give up. There's just too much to fit in a relatively short amount of time. From a practicality standpoint, from a day-to-day schedule standpoint, incorporating all of that is just too disruptive for the average person. And yeah, it's no wonder that they're going to quit. So with these ideas in mind, here's what I recommend that one do if they want to lose the weight. Over the next 3 to 6 months, don't worry about losing weight, all right? Over the next 3 to 6 months, your goal is to create a lifestyle that is consistent with someone who is of a healthy body weight. You normally eat a large pizza for dinner, tailor that back to a medium pizza, or tailor that back to 3/4 of a large pizza. If you normally eat 4 helpings at dinner time, which I've been guilty of, tailor it back to 3, and then over the next month, tailor that back to 2. And then if you can't tailor it back to 1, if that's too much of a change, go to 1.5. And the idea here is to gauge your hunger and just to see where you fit and to see how your body is adapting to the caloric intake. And eventually you're going to realize that you're not hungry at a certain point. You don't need to eat as much as you normally do, but the reason why you are eating though is because your body's just used to eating so much food. It's just used to having a certain amount of food in its stomach, and it's more out of habit rather than hunger. So there's going to be a point where you've nailed the amount of food that you can eat happily whenever you want, and you can eat whatever you want, but you're not going to be gaining weight anymore. You're just going to be maintaining your current weight. And that's what you call your maintenance caloric intake. And that's the point where you're not losing any weight, but more importantly, you're not gaining any weight. And that's the sweet spot. That's what you're trying to discover. The other thing you're going to have to do is to incorporate some sort of daily activity. And this is also in line with creating a lifestyle that's consistent with someone of a healthy body weight. You have to incorporate some sort of daily activity in. And what I recommend that you do is walk. Walk every day for about 35 to 45 minutes. You don't need a fancy gym, you don't need fancy weights, you don't need to join some sort of yoga studio. Just grab some headphones, plug in some earbuds, and listen to some great music and take a stroll around the block for 45 minutes every day. So the point here is that creating the lifestyle is number 1 and losing weight is number 2. You see, this is why I call it backwards, right? It's a very unconventional strategy, and it's really important to create and establish that lifestyle before losing the weight. So over the next 3 to 6 months, try to tailor back what you're eating, find that perfect balance where you're not losing weight and you're not gaining weight, and at the same time you're walking every day. Once you've done that, your goal is then to actually lose the weight. And what I did was fairly extreme, so I don't recommend this for everyone, but what I did was I skipped breakfast every day. I would have a protein shake at lunch, and I would have a Coke somewhere in between just to get me through with regards to an energy standpoint, through a caloric needs standpoint, and I would drink Diet Coke just to get me through to dinner time. And at dinner, I would have a healthy portion of food, a significant portion of food, whether that be a couple servings of protein, lots of veg, and some carbs too. And I made sure that I was full and that I wasn't hungry, but I ate to the point where I was satisfied and content. Now, even that said, that's not a lot of food. And what I noticed for me was I could see the results pretty quickly. It was actually pretty motivating to see myself lose a pound or 2 every other day. Like I said, it's quite extreme, but because it was so extreme, I only had to do that for a short period of time. Within 8 weeks, I already hit my target goal, and then because I've already created the lifestyle that I'm supposed to have for a healthy person, all I did was tailored back on the crazy diet and just went back to the maintenance period, right? The maintenance caloric intake, just to my normal lifestyle of eating. And because I wasn't gaining any weight, I was able to maintain the current healthy weight that I already achieved, which was pretty cool. So I actually found that to be a pretty easy thing to do, and in fact easier than losing the weight, which was pretty cool. So that's what I did. It worked for me. I have no problems keeping the weight off. Now I have to admit that since that time, I do go to the gym now, but I go for completely other reasons. And if you guys are interested in seeing what my workouts are like, please hit that subscribe button, because I'll be working on another video where I show you my workouts. workouts. So there you go, guys. That's pretty much how I lost the weight. I hope you enjoyed the video. And remember, I'm here to mentor you guys towards a rewarding career and to also help you create a life you're proud of. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up button. Guys, I'd also love to hear from you. If you have a topic or question you'd like me to talk about in a future video, please go to my website, 101mentoring.com. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.